test of all of this at some point, because Kenya is a country that is ruled by the Constitution and that there are laws that must be followed, that you can take that public dissatisfaction and turn it into a decision at the ballots in the next process of an election, or you can actually push forth your sovereignty that you've delegated to members of parliament and say you need a change. The latter of those two is unlikely to happen because of certain processes that have not been put in place. But the most decisive action that Kenyans have at the moment is to go to the ballots in 2027 and make a decision essentially about their pocket, about their children, about school fees, about, health. That's what essentially you're making a decision about when you go to vote. Looking at what happens during politics is that still money is sprayed around. People think a position will be taken by how much shillings are in a pocket. Are Kenyans ready, from what you see, to make this decision about how the change will appear in their pocket at the ballot come 2027? Are people ready? And if they're not, what does it take to get them there?
Well, I think something that is happening, which is not good. It is like, all these problems relating the economy, like this fuel thing, the taxes, like the new finance bill 2026. Again, it has issues that the Gen Zs were against. If it is like taxes on digital, space, even like all cars having to be so that like how the lorries and the matatus were inspected, all cars to be inspected, many aspects which really are dumbfounding, because these are the issues that made the youth come to the streets, and one thought one would, and it was promised that they were not going to be repeated. So those things are negative and are hurting, but they're also positive to the extent that they are going to convince people that if you want to get out of this rut, then you need to be serious about what happens at the ballot.
Yeah.
And again, I think the young people are driving this message, and I think the middle class as well, because actually a lot of the middle class are going to the working class. So that I think in a way all these negative things are going to tell people that we can't tolerate this. Another 5 years of this, and people will be beginning to ask, can I go to another country, and where do you go to? Tanzania has its problems, Uganda has its problems, Somalia has its problems. So where do you go? Where do you go to? Abroad, they don't want immigrants a lot.
Yeah. So
I think it's this realization that we can't sink lower. But again, people have to be weaned from this business of Tuwetu, this tribalism thing, because that confuses people. And of course, some of the leaders think that if I give people money, if they are poor and I give them money, they will do what I want. So we have, to do more to get people to accept that this can't be tolerated anymore. I would not say that it is obvious. I wouldn't say that. I am thinking that we are getting there because of the pain that is being inflicted. And of course, truth be said, particularly Rig G is doing a very good job of pinpointing what are not the right things, and also the Linda Mwananchi group of Sifuna, Babu, and Orengo, Otsotsi, etc., etc. There is that, but it's not enough to simply think that if you have all those rallies, you are reaching people to change them fundamentally. That is what happens on top. But you have to do other things, smaller meetings, town halls, so that you can get the message to people that where we have reached, we cannot allow ourselves to continue in that path. And of course, I remember once saying that Ruto also is very good. President Ruto is also very good in terms of looking for numbers in elections, whichever way. From Youth for Kano 1992, 1997, when Moi thought he was not going to win, he was one of the leaders to help him win, even as a young guy. Come 2005 referendum, he was very, very, very pivotal in terms of delivering that referendum to particularly ODM. He did a lot of work, paid work for Uhuru in the 2 elections. He did a lot of work for himself in 2022. So he's not somebody to just think that, you're going to make a lot of speeches and get him down. So a lot of concerted work, therefore, is needed, and at the very grassroots level, not the touch and go rallies. They're good, they mobilize people, but unfortunately also in our country, the United Opposition as a rally, people come. Linda Ground as a rally, people come. Linda Mwananchi as a rally, of course, a lot of people come. But so that is not decisive. So you have to do much more than that, so that you can really mobilize.